In this video, we will navigate you through the STIG Viewer, show you where to obtain the tool, import a Security Technical Implementation Guide or STIG, and create a checklist from STIGs in order to conduct a review on an asset. Let's open a web browser and navigate to the DISA IASE STIG homepage, https://iase.disa.mil. You can use whatever web browser you'd like. For this demonstration, we're going to use Firefox. From the drop-down menus across the top, mouse over STIGs, then select srg/STIG Tools on the submenu and select STIG Viewing Tools. From the STIG Viewing Guidance page, we are going to download the STIG Viewer version 2.7.1. Click on STIG Viewer version 2.7.1 and Firefox will open its download window. Select Save File, then OK. Once the download has completed, simply click the down arrow in the upper right-hand corner in Firefox to open the downloaded file. Click the folder icon. This will bring up the STIG Viewer. It is still contained in a zip file. At the top of the window, you need to click Extract. When the ribbon opens under Extract, select Extract All. This window will ask us where we want to extract the STIG Viewer to. For this video, we are going to click Browse. When the destination window opens on the left, click on Desktop. On the lower right in the destination window, click Select Folder. Once you have selected the folder, the window will close. As you can see in the Extract Destination window, the STIG Viewer will now be extracted to the desktop. Go ahead and select Extract on the lower right. This should only take a few seconds to complete. Once the extract action has completed, it will open a new window containing all your desktop items. Let's close that window and all other open windows so that we can see the STIG Viewer icon on the desktop. Double-click on the STIG Viewer desktop icon to open it. Currently, we have no STIGs loaded into the STIG Viewer, so it will appear empty. There are three main columns to the STIG Viewer in the STIG Explorer tab. The left column contains STIG names, filters, and options. The center column contains vulnerability ID information. The right column contains vulnerability detail information. The top line menu has 5 menu drop-down selections: File, Export, Checklist, Options, and Help. We will go into each of the menus more in a bit. The Help menu does contain a README file as well as the change log file for the history of changes to STIG Viewer. Notice we are in the main STIG Explorer window with this tab here. Let's go ahead and import a STIG zip file so we can see how STIG Viewer presents the information. On the top menu here, we're going to click on File, and from the drop-down, import a STIG. Open the File Directory window and navigate to where you have saved your STIG zip files. Mine is on the desktop and it is the Windows 10 STIG. Select your STIG and either double-click on it or select it and click Open. STIG Viewer will show the STIG has been imported and the checkbox is abbreviated as CK under STIGs in the left-hand column. All of your imported STIGs will be located in this box, so be careful to only select the STIG or STIGs you wish to view, or you will be given all requirements combined in the center column. We are going to create a checklist from a STIG in order to conduct a review of an asset. Place a check mark in the CK box next to the Windows 10 STIG. In the top line menu, select Checklist, Create Checklist, Check Marked STIG. A Checklist tab has now been opened next to the STIG Explorer tab. This Checklist tab contains information related to the STIG you selected. The left-hand column contains data for totals, target data, STIGs, technology area, and filter panel. The center column contains vulnerabilities in the checklist and their status. The right-hand column contains general information, vulnerability information, finding details, and comments. You can click the small triangles next to each one and collapse the menu down. Before we go over all the information related to the Windows STIG, let's look at our top menu options again because they have changed. Under File in the top line menu, select Save Checklist and Save Checklist As. If you select Save Checklist As option, be sure to save checklist to a CKL file, especially before exporting to a CSV file. As another option from the Import menu, you can select to import an XCCDF results file or checklist data from a previously saved checklist file. Under the Export menu, you can export a general CMRS import file or data export to export the data to a CSV file. Now, let's take a look at the Windows checklist. The checklist total section on the left contains tabs for severities Cat 1, Cat 2, and Cat 3. The Overall Totals tab includes all of the STIG's checks regardless of severity. If you want to know specific numbers, you can then click the different Cat tabs to see how many are in each severity. The Checklist Target Data section on the bottom is where the asset is identified. There is a drop-down menu button that can toggle between computing and non-computing. For a computing asset, enter host name, IP address, and MAC address of the asset being reviewed. For a non-computing asset, enter the display name of the asset only. You will notice the button for Get Host Data on the right. If you click on that, it will only populate the computing fields with the information for the computer from which you are running STIG Viewer. Finally, you can choose the role of your asset. If you choose the Web or Database STIG box, the fields for the site and instant names are provided. Once you are finished with this section, click the triangle next to Target Data to collapse the menu. Next, let's open the STIG's menu section. Checklist STIGs automatically tells you which checklists are selected for the STIG, the name of the STIG, and current score. On the right, there is a plus button where you can add the views for version and release number. The Technology Area section contains a drop-down list of technologies available to select the specific technology for the asset being reviewed. You can select the choice that applies to your asset. The last section is the Filter panel. The Filter panel section allows you to filter the vulnerabilities by severity, Cat 1, Cat 2, or Cat 3, or by entering a keyword, rule title, STIG ID, vulnerability ID, rule ID, IA control, or CCI. You can select either inclusive or exclusive filter radio button. Your center column is all of your current STIGs related to the checklist you have created. You can see the status, Vul ID, and rule name are displayed. By selecting the plus, you can add options if you want to know the STIG ID, rule ID, or CCI ID. The top section here has your STIG check information, as you can see Vul ID, rule ID, STIG ID, and severity. The status of the check can be selected from the dropdown as Open, Not Finding, or Not Applicable. The Severity Override dropdown on the right allows you to change the CAT level of some checks. The middle section here contains all the information to this specific check. You have your rule title, discussion, check text, and fixed text. This is also where you find the relevant CCI information. Below the STIG information, you now have two fields for finding details and any comments you want to save related to the STIG. Let's change a few of these STIG findings now. When you have a single STIG selected, as we do now, you can simply go to the Status button and from the drop-down, make your selection. If you have multiple STIG checks that you want to change one at a time, you can either hold down the Shift key and select them in a row or use Control to select specific ones. Then change the status all at once. As you can see under the Totals section on the left, the pie chart has immediately updated with the results of the multiple selection. Remember, STIG Viewer does not have an autosave feature, so save your work often. Top left under File.